Eagles win this game 28-22, and their passing game was great. We will talk about that. But Carson Wentz, that's
Dude.
the low. I just no more. I can't watch Carson Wentz in 2025. I know what I'm getting. We brought up that 30 play stat about the Raiders. Last year, remember in week 18 when he played with the Chiefs? That was the record they broke. It was 33 plays in that game. When it was with the Chiefs, they played the Broncos. I'm enough of the Wentz, the ducking, the taking hits, throwing the ball up on 2nd 15, getting intentional grounding on a very safe protection play that Greg Olsen did a great job of admonishing and saying that was bad. Just no, enough of it. We'll talk about the Eagles, but what do you feel about Wentz and the Vikings right now? Because I'm tired of it. I don't want to watch it anymore.
I know, like, if you just look at, like, even, like, the EPA numbers and, you know, some of the box score numbers, it looks okay. Like, you finish with positive EPA numbers for the day. No.
It's fake.
It's
Justin Jefferson
chaos. Yeah, every time he drops back, it's chaos. And I don't understand where as someone who's played, like, in the NFL for almost a decade now, he's still, like, dropping back and doing, like, a Madden drop 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and then he's twirling around and, like, blind throwing it in double coverage for interceptions. It's just I don't think that you can do this for another week. And I know that maybe he had a couple of nice moments in the fourth quarter where they were trying to make a comeback, but he's the reason you were in that hole in the first place, because you just can't. He can't function in a way that lets you, like, have a coherent offense. So I don't know what they're gonna do. It's getting pretty old though, watching the Carson Wentz experience, where it's just a mess every single time he touches the ball.
It is the ducking. I don't want to see him duck another again. One more time. Like, I just can't see that, because I saw that in 2017 when he was ducking and getting whacked by the sideline. He's still doing it. How do you not get hurt and learn? His internal clock is bad. Like, I keep saying that. I made the sundial joke, but it's so true. I even would say the end of the game sequence, you brought up some of the good plays. There was even leading up to there was a sequence there that I like, it gave me hives. Like, it gave me anxiety, because they were checking the play, and they broke the huddle really early. And he just was taking his time getting into the next play. He walked up, communicated, moved a guy. And I was like, go, you guys got to score twice. But it's Greg Olsen, though, he did a great job of doing this, because I brought up that little protection thing where he got the intentional grounding. And that was saying, he's got a lot of starts to be making that kind of mistake. He was talking about the grounding. Same thing right there. It's like, how do you not just have the, like, wherewithal of the playing football to be like, okay, we got to be quick. Hey, get effing lined up. You know, the Matt Ryan, like, get set.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not
get effing set?
Yeah, get effing set. Like, how do you not know? Because time is of the essence there, more than just getting to that, through the plays. So it's very frustrating to watch him. The pick six, he's hot. They run a hot dropper right underneath it, but again, he's hot, and it's just like gets baited into that as opposed to throwing outside or something of that sort. It's just I know Vikings fans are like, yeah, we don't want this. It's not like we were cheering for this, but do you think JJ McCarthy adds a boost, or do you just think it's like, might as well just see what you got?
Oh boy. I mean, you should see what you got, because you spent a lot to go get him. So you might as well go put him on the field, especially, like, if this is the alternative. If JJ is going to be bad, at least you're bad, like, learning information about someone you just drafted. So I think with JJ, just put him back in if he's healthy enough to play, when he's healthy enough to play. Do I think he'll save anything though? No. I watched that game against the Falcons. I mean, that was some of the worst football that I've seen all year. And even the game against the Bears, where he won NFC Player of the Week, he spent the first 3 quarters, like, not doing anything, like, actively being a deterrent for their offense. So I don't think that he's saving anything. I don't think the expectation should be placed upon him that he can save anything.
Correct. That's
take it
great way to put it.
One play at a time. One play at a time. Yeah.
Which is a hard conversation, I think, for them to have, to try and bridge it. Like, hey, we want to see what we got here, but I know we're trying to compete, but we got to see what we got here. I mean, it's not my problem, but it's not the most fun problem to do for a bunch of professionals over there. But yeah, it's just tough. Like, I agree with you, but I think he does need reps. On the Eagles side, at least they holy crap, we actually got to see some explosive plays. I brought up the last time Jalen Hurts and his Eagles offense faced Brian Flores defense was 2023, and they couldn't throw the ball to save their lives, but they at least ran the ball. They ran down their throats, actually. And but in this game, they couldn't really run the ball. And you're really feeling that week in, week out with the Eagles offense. That's yards before contact. This is the lowest it's been in years in this Eagles offense. The rushing success rate's down. But today, this is what the whole Eagles ecosystem needs. You just need these launch balls. Just throw it to these really good receivers you got named A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and good things happen. That's all this offense has to do. And today we actually got to see it. They had 8 explosive passes, which of course, that's the math that this offense needs. It's not passing success rate. They just need to get 40% passing. And then you could just go get these launch balls. But under center play action was their changeup today. They'd only run it 6 times entering today. And the yards gained on those 6 times were 0, 0, -1, 7, and 1. So not really like their forte. And then today they ran it 4 times. Basically every Devontae Smith big play was under center play action, except for like one of them. Yards gained 2, 79, 19, 21. And including that long touchdown, that was a 79-yarder. It's just, that's self-scouting. This is what you do after a mini bye week. It's encouraging. Was it all perfect? No. There was moments and stretches where it was not great, but there was a lot of good here. And actually, I thought Jalen Hurts threw a lot of confident footballs today. This other touchdown, one of the huge plays, A.J. Brown, was like the post touchdown in the red zone. That's a real confident throw with timing. The sluggo route to A.J. Brown was great confidence from the offense, even though I thought it was predictable. And Brian Flores should not brought the house on that play. Especially, that's what they're going to do. They want to go get it. Yeah. The fourth down to get the touchdown to A.J. Brown. Those were all just plays that was like, at least there's that coming back in this offense, because I do think it's inconsistent, but at least we're getting these explosives. But what did you think about the Eagles offense?
I mean, I honestly, I thought that was one of the best games I've seen Hurts play maybe ever. Yeah, for certain this year. And I think even going back into last year, including the Super Bowl performance, I thought that was one of the best games that he's played in a really long time. And it was fun to see, because you remember that this Eagles offense, like, they're littered with playmakers. And I know the running game hasn't been working well, and that's been shut down. But still, like, even when Saquon Barkley isn't going, you still should be able to score points with the supporting cast, and they did that today. And also, they were a lot more competent than I thought they would be, because last week I thought we would kind of see what happened the last time they played Brian Flores, where they get confused and it gets bogged down and you can't really do anything. And maybe you walk out of there with an L to an even worse offense on the other side with Carson Wentz. But no, they powered through and they kind of diced them up. That was a really impressive game from Hurts and the rest of the offense. And hopefully for their sake and the chemistry of that team, they can kind of keep that rolling going forward, because I'm sure they're feeling good today. But, that's a day-to-day thing over in that locker room.
Hour to hour. I mean, that's what it really does feel like. Oh, man, that was a bad week to have a long week for them. When you lose like that on Thursday night. Speaking of, I would say one team that's had a lot of long weeks this year. This is low number 2. Browns, I mean, just completely dominate the Dolphins. Let's be frank here. In a messy weather type of game, one offense felt like they had a decent plan. They gave the ball to their young running back, Quinshon Judkins, did enough through the air, and really controlled things on defense. And the other one, which was an offense that used to score a lot of points, I mean, there was some just aimless drives, some throws not getting there. Just 1-6 Dolphins, I think, reach a new low now, losing to this Browns team. What'd you think of this game, and what's next for the Dolphins? Because I don't really know what else to say about them.
This is terrible, but I'm going to say it anyways. When I saw that this game going into halftime, what was the score going into halftime? It was 17-6, right? Put this. Then that's when this game became a fixture on one of my quad boxes, because like, oh, we got Tua in the second half needing multiple scores against the Browns defensive line. Like, I am locked into that. And in the second half, it went just as poorly as I think we all thought it would. On 12 dropbacks, he had 56 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 picks. Minus 1.6 EPA per drop back. I mean, just I don't think you can put him out there again. I think you have to bench Tua because
going Quinn Ewers.
Well, sure. At least Quinn Ewers ain't talking crap about his teammates and then going throwing 3 interceptions against the Browns. Like, I don't know. That's not tenable. I can't not like you and you're throwing picks. Like, that's no good. So I think they have to consider it because this is just not. Because today was nothing.
Can't keep doing this.
They got pants. You can't keep doing this. You can't keep getting pants, and you can't keep giving yourself no chance to win in crunch time.
No, I know, and you can't keep. I mean, something's got to happen. Like just something. It just can't. This is a long season. We're not even halfway there. We just this is. I mean, we said it. One of the early games for them, they felt like just a white flag already. They lose the Colts week 1, I think it was. That's what it just felt like. It was just like a white flag already because none of the guys wanted to do anything. The thing that's so interesting about, sorry, this is kind of like a aside, but like Nick Saban in media is he has so many relevant players that he's coached in the NFL. So it's like weekly on College Game Day or whatever, the lead up to College Game Day throughout the week on ESPN. It's just kind of one of those things where they interview him all the time about one of his former players. And this week it was like, he's like addressing Tua through the media, and it's just such a surreal thing for me. I think I would just never picture Nick Saban in media in the first place. But no, he's just like saying Tua should have never done that, but it was good that he like came back out. But I was like, oh, where are we at? This guy's like year 6 in the NFL? Like year
something like that.
And we're
year 6.
Yeah, and we're talking about like that, like, oh, he can't be making me these mistakes. There's one pass he had, and this is why Tua has the strengths where it's like get the ball quick and his accuracy. But this is where, like the Herbert Tua things and just maybe what the whole arguments about quarterback traits even is that there was a throw he had today. It was a 10-yard out route. He was on his own same hash, so it wasn't a field out route. And he can't step into it because he has a little pressure. He throws it and the ball nosedives on him. Like it actually it wasn't a throw where it was just like aimless and it just missed. It was just that he threw it to the right spot with the right timing, but the ball just didn't have enough oomph and it actually like tilted. Like it was like a fade ball. And that's just what I mean. It was like, we're already having those limitations. And like you said, you can't talk like that and throw the interceptions. So if you're turning the ball over, man, and I think, head coach wise, it's just like McDaniel's just every week out there, every press conference is sadder and sadder. It's just, it's pretty tough to watch right now. It's like, just please do something, trade somebody, do something, please just do something. I can't keep watching this. I can't.
Just throw your hands up and just wait until the guillotine at the end of the season. Just wait for the guillotine. That's all they're doing.
That's it. At least the Browns got some cool young players. Like Fannin is so cool. Your Hernandez comp is so good. And then I'm enjoying watching Quinshon Judkins run the ball. Like he's such a good runner between the tackles. They have some cool plays to him. So it's they have at least something I can watch on this team. Myles Garrett in the defense, but Dolphins, not so much. Just sad. All right, low number 3. And don't worry, we'll get to that Broncos-Giants game at the very end. Yeah, we're throwing in some extra credit there. All right, low number 3. Cowboys doubled the Commanders 44-22. And I mean, it was entertaining. But the Commanders' offense felt a little today. And especially, I know they still have some injuries, especially at the receiver spot. And now we got you're going against a Cowboys defense that's been kind of everybody else's mouthwash. Kind of like, okay, let's get right here. And then on top of it, Jayden Daniels gets injured on a fumble and then gets hurt. They give the thumbs up to his mom, apparently. So we're good there. So hopefully it's not long term, but just couldn't do anything against a defense that a lot of teams have been doing a lot of stuff against. What'd you think? I mean, we got to praise the Cowboys too, because their offense is cooking right now. A ton of fun to watch. But what'd you think about this Commanders performance and really just overall this game, Chuck?
I thought that was pretty disappointing from the Commanders. Even before Jayden Daniels got hurt, just not a consistent enough day moving the ball. Like you said, against a defense that's been everyone's mouthwash. And shoot, the Panthers last week scored. The Panthers last week scored 30 and had one in dramatic fashion. We've seen a whole bunch of teams just walk up and down the field, and it just felt a little stuck. For the Commanders. And then once Jayden got hurt, that was kind of that. But even it never really felt like they could quite get into a rhythm. And then they were able to rip off a couple big plays in the first half. But Overall, like even when you look at some of their yards per play, they were 5.8 yards per play, which sounds okay, but 35 or 37% drop back success rate, and it felt like that. Didn't feel like Jayden Daniels really got comfortable today, and I think they're obviously missing the Terry McLaurin not being out there because there's just no way that you should be struggling with this defense. That's this has been the defense that everyone destroys, everyone. And the fact that they were down like 41-15 at one point. I can understand getting shredded by Dallas's offense because they are on a mission right now. Dak is playing like robot quarterback, but to not be able to match that against them, that was a little troubling.
Yeah, I know it's hard because it's like Devo's out too, but the thing was, it's just the Cowboys defense where it's like, I just still feel like you can hang at least for a little bit, but it didn't feel like they had some nice moments. Also had one of the best punt and downing of the punts that you'll see in your lifetime. That was so cool at the 1 yard line. Mm-hmm. But it was just, it was a lot of Zach Ertz, and Zach Ertz can only get you so far in 2025. And I still like the Commanders' run game. I still think they got really cool stuff going on there, but the passing game has to pop some stuff. Luke McCaffrey's a nice role player. That's the thing. A lot of these role players had to really step up in their roles because the top two guys are out. And that's where you kind of feel the thinness of this team. A lot of Robbie Anderson. Is it Robbie Chosen now? Because you got a lot.
I think it's Robbie Chosen still. Yeah, I think it's still
Robbie Chosen. Yeah. Did you see Tom Brady had a funny quote? He was like, yeah, he's wearing 12 and he got all excited when he saw me today. And, when he was with the Jets, you could tell Tom was trying to be nice. And he was just like, he would come up to me before. We have a fun relationship. Like an interesting relationship. So it's like, obviously Robbie just comes up to him and talks, and Tom Brady's like, okay, okay, we can do that. I know you covered Robbie.
I covered Robbie. Yeah, dude, I love Robbie. I think he's the best. He's not everybody's cup of tea, but I thought he was an absolute gem to talk to.
I'm sure
if you could get him to talk to you. If you could get him to talk to you, yeah.
I did a show with him on NFL Network this summer, so that's like funny to watch him now. It's like, hey, that guy was Hey, we were working together a couple months ago. My coworker's out there. I know. It just kind of this how the Commanders are feeling. Maybe it's more not just a low here, but just like they're low of like, man, they just can't get over these injuries. They can't get that consistency going where both sides are putting up a good performance. And then I think the defense still is gettable. And I mean, the Cowboys are getting everybody right now on offense, basically, unless you're Panthers, apparently. But no, I do think that, man, it's the Cowboys offense. Yeah, Clayton Adams is going to be one of the hottest names in coaching. But I do think that this Commanders team just something's off with them right now. And obviously Jayden Daniels getting hurt as the negative cherry on the bottom. Does that make sense? Yeah. Does that analogy make sense?
It does. Like the last thing I have on the Commanders, I think they're in a similar spot to the Chargers, where one of the things that I was kind of keeping track of this year was you have these teams, they both picked top 5 last year. Teams that pick in the top 5 usually are pretty bad, right? It could take a while for them to get going. But you sprint, year one, make the playoffs. Commanders all the way to the MC title game. But like you were still picking number 2 like 8 months ago. And there's still remnants of that team that's here. So when guys for the Chargers and the Commanders, they start getting hurt, like their top line guys, you still see, oh my God, they have no depth here. There's nothing here that can kind of buoy the tide while guys are out. So it's still going to take a couple more off seasons for both those squads. And I think today was a reminder for both of them. Yeah. Great
point. No, that's a great point. All right. Extra credit here. We had some close calls for contenders. One of them that was a close call and then was an upset and then it was a close call and then was an upset and then it was a close call. That was the Broncos beating the Giants 33-32. And I can't say I enjoyed all of this game, because I thought there was a lot of bad football that got played between these two teams. There's some cool moments.
Mostly bad football.
But, man, the fourth quarter was absolutely insane. The Broncos scored all of their points in the fourth quarter, and it felt like they all came in the last, 2.5 minutes. We had tip touchdowns for both sides, one in the red zone, one to Theo Johnson on a catch and run on 3rd and forever. We had screen touchdown to Cam Scadaboo. I actually kind of was giving us props. I was like, hey, we said the Giants might hang for a little bit here because of their line play, but I don't know. What did you? I just want to know what your thoughts were on this game, because I this game gave me the sweats in like good way and bad way by the end of it.
Now, you were talking about getting hives earlier. That's how I felt during the final Giants drive. Like, I felt absolutely disgusted watching.
What game did you say this reminded you of?
It reminded me of the Florida drive that he had when he was at Ole Miss last year, where if you go back and watch that game, and this drive ended better than the Florida drive did, but he almost threw like 3 or 4 interceptions that ended the game. And he almost
Broncos players were literally knocking each other out because so many of them were near the ball. And which happened in the Florida game too, I think. I think Florida guys got hurt because they were hitting each other because they were so close to picking off the ball. There's so many of them. And it happened several times in one drive.
And then the DPI and the roughing, I was like, oh my God. Like in the DPI, the pass, it was so bad. I don't think he got close to throwing a single pass on target that entire drive. And then you get the hero moment where he gets the quarterback dive and he dives over the front or dives at the goal line and they win. It looks like they're about to win the game, and then some spindly old kicker wearing 99. Like, okay, who's this kicker wearing 99 who looks like he weighs like 140 pounds for the Giants? Because they keep having issues with Graham Gano getting hurt like for like 2 or 3 years now. I'm like, why do you guys keep tolerating
this? Has happened multiple times. Yeah.
Yes. And then this guy missed, and Bo Nix, bada bing, bada boom. Broncos win. That was like the worst potential game-winning drive I think I've ever seen. It's just really bad.
No, I agree. The Giants one was like, oh, they're going to get away with this. That's unbelievable. But that's how the game kind of felt. And then, I mean, the Broncos, Bo Nix's first pass, I don't think I think it got completed to Sutton, or I don't think he was trying to throw to Sutton and went over him and it got completed. And then it was a back shoulder to Sutton, which actually was a nice play. And then it was like, and then, set up and then they kicked the field goal. But man, that entire game. I watched it and I was like, is this even good? They had no timeouts either. And they just drove the whole field.
No.
And Vance Joseph just kept blitzing, and Jackson Dart was finding plays to blitz throughout the game. And I thought it was so kind of, I don't know if it's ironic is the right word for it, but like, Sean Payton games it out for his quarterbacks where he calls a lot of plays, a lot of play action near the red zone and gets you those touchdowns. And there's a 4-play sequence where I think he threw the ball every single time early in the game. They got stuffed and were able to score. It was a pass to Garrett Bowles, a sprint out, nothing popped open, and a receiver screen that got blown up. And I thought it was funny that it was like he's trying to game it there. And at the end of the game, when it was just like, whatever, there's Bo Nix hitting plays. It's just stuff happening, apparently. I don't know. I just thought that was just kind of funny, like just how it actually worked. He ran in a touchdown, which was nice, but I don't know. Against Dart and this Giants offense, I would just drop 8 every single time and just make them read it out. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
They can run it on you, but just drop 8.
Yeah. Because I get the tendency to just be like, man, let's just destroy the pocket and make. But he's not bad on like when it comes to like that second play. Like I will give him that. Like sometimes when he can keep his eye upfield and like extend that play and throw downfield, he actually is. He is pretty solid at that. Now there's a lot of times where he takes sacks and gets himself hurt en route to trying to do that, but it's not totally lost with him. There are some things that you can build on here. And wow, just what a weird game. Like I don't know how you feel about that if you're a Broncos fan. Do you just forget everything you saw the first 3 quarters? I guess.
But that's just the Broncos period this year. It's like I don't know how to put my finger on them. Like I think they're good. Question mark. That's just how I feel about them. But no, I agree with you. Dart at least is fun. Like he's going to try some stuff. He's going to run around a little bit. But yeah, he's just a little chaotic right now. So it's a little inconsistent at times. All right, wrap up with last extra credit. This other one. Packers beat the Cardinals late. And Packers just seem to keep having a couple of these where these just really close games that just they can't put away a team that they are heavy favorites against. But Packers win, beat Jacoby Brissett. Micah Parsons had 9 pressures, 7 quick pressures, 2 sacks on 26 pass rushes. 1 out of 3 dropbacks he got a pressure on when he was rushing the passer. What'd you think of this game, Chuck?
I'm trying to figure out how good I think the Packers are. I don't, because they looked like a dominant contender in the early part of the season, and since then they've just kind of been okay. So I don't. I kind of struggle to figure out if they still are going to be that team. But when they keep playing close games against the Cardinals, and they keep playing close games against some of these other teams, it does kind of make you want to lose confidence in them.
Right. No, that's exactly how I feel with them. It's just like I want to feel good about them, but I just can't just get over the top with the Packers and everything with what they're doing. Even though, I don't know, their highs are highs, I still feel good about it. I should say that. Stopping the run, I got to watch them a little bit more, how they're getting to it, because the defensive tackle injuries is a little worrisome to me, or defensive tackle depth. But I don't know. I still feel good about them. They still got Parsons. They still got Jordan Love. And maybe they're watching everything. So it's like the highs of the Packers I still trust. So I'm keeping the faith for now. But it's just like, man, just put a team away.
Right. But it is, when you're talking about the highs, like when you get to the end of that game and you are facing, you're facing Jacoby Brissett, a potential game-winning drive. Micah Parsons absolutely dusts Jonah Williams and closes that game right when you need to at the end. Just crushed him. It took like 2 seconds for him to get there. And ultimately, that's why you go get a guy like that, and that's why you have high-level players. So, it's certainly not doom and gloom, and it's not like they can't go reach their heights this year. It's just, you should be putting away teams that are starting Jacoby Brissett maybe a little bit better than you are, and, stop playing some of these close games against bad teams.
They got next Sunday night against the Steelers. That should be a nice, good one to kind of prove and grow. Aaron Rodgers' revenge game. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. That'll be a fun one. It shouldn't be a revenge game. The time passed. Jordan Love's very good. So, but you're right. The Micah Parsons closes out. That's why I shared the 7 quick pressures, because it felt like that. And they got closers. Like Jordan Love's a closer, and I think Micah Parsons is a closer. It's just like, just getting there, just keeping these games at least where they don't trip over themselves to at least get to that point. Tucker Kraft looks incredible. The pass catchers are getting there. We'll see if Christian Watson comes back soon. So there's just a lot to like with the Packers, and that's why I'm just kind of like, but even if they are frustrating at times, that's why you get to share they're the youngest team in the NFL stat. That's what you just got to say for the 3rd year in a row. That's what just every excuse about. They're so young. Just wait.
Yeah. Don't look that they've actually played a lot together at this point. They're still young.
I know. At least they're catching the ball now.